Welcome, is denome. It has been exactly 1 year since Hamas attacked Israel in October 7th, 2023. And when we take a look at the price of Bitcoin back then, you can see it actually fell down roughly 6% from the uncertainty, from the panic of the attack. But after that, Bitcoin started to cook and we went up roughly 175% to the upside. Right now, the setup is basically the same. So when we take a look at the previously, you saw that we were in this consolidation here. Practically for half a year, Bitcoin didn't do anything. And then it started to cook. Right now, we are in a similar consolidation here. And now is October 7th. And we have the uncertainty where Israel has promised that it will retaliate against the Iranian missile attack, but it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it will happen today on the anniversary of October 7th, maybe it will come later this week, who knows, maybe it doesn't come at all. But in either cases, Bitcoin setup is still the same. And in this video, I will have a lot more news to cover because BlackRock, they are now shilling Bitcoin like never before. So we will talk about that. There's a situation with USDT as well that you have to know. There's an interesting escalation in the fundamentals of Bitcoin as well, and then I will take a look at the technical analysis of Bitcoin at the end of the video if you want to hear my price predictions. Also, I will give you my trade setup that I will do for this week as well. Before we get started though, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. That helps me get more visibility, but it also helps you to get more content like this and for other people to see crypto related content so we can get that crypto adoption going. Also, as you know, I am sponsored by Bybit, so here is my current trade setup. I have a DCA orders basically back to $62,000 and then I have a stop loss below here. And I started a new account because Bybit currently has a $10 million prize pool for their trading competition. And you can join my squad. That is free and you will be eligible for extra rewards if you do so. There's a link in the pinned comment below if you want to join the Denominators squad. And here you can see some of my trades that I started with this account. So my first trade was an 11% profit on a short. Then I had some gains, some losses, some more gains. Mostly I've been making consistent gains on this. The most recent profit I made was 17% on a pretty beautiful move from $62,700 to almost $64,000. So far my account size has grown 20% in the last week. I don't think I can keep up this week, but let's see how things continue from here. All in all, pretty nice on that. But now let's get to the actual content and talk about the biggest piece of news that we had. And that comes from BlackRock. So a person on X called Marty, he attended this event here. And you can watch the full digital assets conference in Brazil 2024 if you want to. It's 5 hours long. Personally, I did not watch the whole thing, but I do have these slides here. So let's take a look at what BlackRock said about Bitcoin. So first of all, they are talking about the purchasing power of the US dollar, that it has declined 97% in the last 110 years. And then they compare the features of Bitcoin against gold and US treasuries. So the supply of Bitcoin is fixed. That is obviously the winner here. Volatility is the highest. Length of track record is the shortest. So these are the shortcomings of Bitcoin. But then governance is decentralized, cost to move and the cost to store are the lowest. So these are the upsides of Bitcoin. They also compare the market caps of these assets, and Bitcoin has the lowest market cap. So basically they are just shilling Bitcoin here. And then they talk about the volatility. According to BlackRock, volatility is bad. I don't know why. Usually investors want more volatility, but they are basically explaining here that the volatility of Bitcoin is declining because it is becoming a bigger asset class. So that is, in their opinion, a good thing. So maybe more investors will be buying it. Then they are also saying that crypto is good and we are selling it to all our customers. And here, this was interesting. This is what I talked about in my previous market update, that Bitcoin, even though it has these pullbacks against these macro events, geopolitical events, or mini black swan events, like the COVID outbreak or the election challenges, Ukraine, banking crisis, whenever something happens in the market, usually Bitcoin has a pullback, but after 10 days and after 60 days, Bitcoin almost always outperforms the other assets. This is insane. This is basically showing exactly what I told you guys in my previous market update, but this time it's BlackRock telling you guys that this is actually what's going on with Bitcoin. Then they are saying that you should have, well, not exactly you should have, but they're showing that if you have a traditional 60-40 portfolio, your average return is 5.5% per year. If you have just 1% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, suddenly your yield on the whole portfolio goes up to 6.5% on an annual basis. If you, however, are crazy and you go all the way to 3% in Bitcoin, then your yield is 50% higher than without any Bitcoin, 8.4% compared to 5.5%. So they are basically shilling that you should have 3% of your assets in Bitcoin or crypto. Then they talk about other things as well, but they are saying basically here that they haven't put a price point on Bitcoin, so it can go basically up forever, is what BlackRock is saying. And they want people to have 1 to 3% in digital assets in their portfolios. For this is the key for their clients, to have 1 to 3% in digital assets in the future. So all in all, pretty good. But they are not only talking about Bitcoin, they are also comparing Bitcoin and Ethereum together. So Bitcoin is risk-off asset. So it does well in these geopolitical tensions and craziness. It's basically an alternative for gold, whereas Ethereum is a risk-on asset, and this is basically when you want to invest in blockchain technology, blockchain adoption, then Ethereum is the right choice for you. So all in all, they are bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum, obviously, because they are selling both of these, but it's nice that these people are selling these assets for their clients. Then we have a situation with USDT. So USDT is now being banned and delisted by Coinbase from their European clients by the end of 2024. So even if you are not from Europe, this may still affect you, because when this delist is happening or getting close to the delisting, it can cause a depeg of the Tether asset. So the value of Tether can actually go below $1. If that happens, then I think many people will arbitrage back the value back to $1, but it can cause your portfolio to be a little bit wacky during that time. So if you have a lot of USDT, you may want to consider diversifying into something else like USDC before this delist actually happens. Also, we have basically a response from the CEO of Tether as well. Not exactly a response, but they're saying on October 4th that Tether is the best friend of United States. And they have a lot of propaganda here, but the interesting part is here. So the Tether or USDT, they are holding $98 billion worth of US Treasury bills. And they are a larger holder than is the country of Germany or the country of Mexico in their holdings. So maybe this is giving some credibility for USDT, maybe not. I thought it was pretty funny. And what he's basically implying here is that nobody has ever found any wrongdoing legally from them, and there's no incentive for United States to take them down because they are such a big holder of US treasuries. I don't know if this is the case or not, but I thought this was at least funny, so I shared it here. Then we got bullish news that UAE, United Arab Emirates, they are exempting crypto transfers from VAT. So obviously this is nice that if you are trading or transferring altcoins to your friends, then you don't have to worry about VAT. So pretty nice. Overall, the news are quite nice for this video here. However, when we talk about the BlackRock basically shilling Bitcoin, it's one thing to shill Bitcoin, and the other is actually looking at the facts. So when we take a look at the last 6 months of Bitcoin ETF holders, the amount of Bitcoin held by ETFs and funds globally is basically been flat. So for the last 6 months, the amount of Bitcoin has been hovering between 1 million Bitcoin and 1.1 billion Bitcoin in these ETFs. We saw a little bit increase last week, but by the end of the week, basically all of those people who bought already sold. So now we're basically back to square one once again. So let's see if this will actually change at some moment in time. But you have to also look at the actual facts, not just the hype that these fund managers are now obviously pushing because they make money from these ETFs. So there's that. But when we take a look at the fundamentals on sentiment.net, if you want to use this tool, there's a link in the description as well. But the most important part is obviously when we take a look at the supply on exchanges, the amount of Bitcoin that exchange wallets are holding. This is important because this shows us if there's accumulation of Bitcoin or if people want to basically sell their Bitcoin. So when you see a spike to the upside, that means that people are depositing Bitcoin onto exchanges, and usually this means that they want to sell their Bitcoin on the exchange. But from May of this year, so for the last 4 months, the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges dropped from 10% of the supply down to now 9.4%. So basically, this means that 6% of the supply on exchanges has now been taken out into private wallets. So this is showing accumulation of Bitcoin from exchange wallets into private wallets. So in my opinion, this is fundamentally a bullish thing. When people are long-term bullish, they want to hold their Bitcoin outside of exchanges. So in the most recent pump, you can see that the exchange wallets were still being drained, which means that this may not have been the local top yet. So that's, in my opinion, quite good. Doesn't mean it is not a local top, but it fundamentally means that it's quite good. Then we have a little bit of a bad piece of fundamentals here. So when we take a look at the market cap of all stablecoins, basically from September 25th or 2 weeks ago, we haven't seen any increase in the amount of stablecoins. So that is a little bit unfortunate. We optimally want this to continue to grow to the upside, but that has been the case here. And then when we take a look at old wallets, we're still not seeing any old wallets selling, kind of again signaling that maybe the price will want to go even higher from here. So this is, in my opinion, quite good as well, that money is being drained from exchanges at the same time as old wallets that have held Bitcoin for more than 1 year and 3 years aren't really selling their Bitcoin. So this is fundamentally extremely good as well. When we take a look at the liquidation heat map, then I will talk about the technicals, and we take a look at the 1 week data. The brighter the color, the more likely it is that the Bitcoin price will go there. So here you can see that we had 300 million here, and then Bitcoin price basically just shoot to the upside here. Then now when we take a look at above the current price point, you can see 180 million, 220 million, 250, 260, 250, 240, 200, 180. So basically all the way to $65,000. There's a lot of liquidity, a lot of shorts to be liquidated at these price points here. So it is very lucrative for basically these liquidation hunters or exchanges to push price a little bit higher to liquidate these people here, liquidate their shorts. When we look at the opposite side, we only see 80, 80, 70, 100, 130, 180, 50, 40, 100, 100, 100, and then we have to go all the way down to $59,700 to see 300 million for the first time, and 300 million here as well. And then it basically tapers off quite fast. There's a lot of liquidity here as well that can still get liquidated, but overall in the immediate vicinity it seems like there's a lot more liquidity on top of here than basically below. So that is kind of signaling me that price would like to go to the upside in the short term. When I take all of this into consideration and we look at the price here, and let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we have this resistance line here right now, basically at the top here. We had a rejection, but not a strong reaction. So this is quite good because it signals that at least as of now, the people who wanted to take profits, they took profits, but not enough that the price completely crashed from here. So maybe this price move has the potential to break to the upside. So now it's important that we basically follow this trend line here. So this is giving us now a timeline of basically in the next 1 day. We will see if we break to the upside or not. If you want to trade this, it's better to trade the breakout of the upside or the breakdown of this channel here. Not exactly trade inside here because there's not enough profit inside this triangle here. So basically buy out the breakout or the drop here. Personally, I'm expecting a breakout to the upside. So I have a trade going on Bybit right now where I'm basically buying all the way down until this price point here, and I have my all the way down here, and I have my stop loss below here. So that's one way you could do it as well. That's why my current trade. So currently I'm not on any trade on Bybit, but I do have a like a dollar cost averaging basically until this price point here. So realistically, what I'm kind of expecting, even though it's likely that the price will go to the upside here, what I'm actually expecting is a little bit more boring. And maybe if we see a situation from Israel, then we see a pullback to the downside here. And then we probably go to the upside. So either of these two cases is basically what I'm expecting. What I would really want to see though is this. This is a little bit crazy, but I want to show you. So this is what I want to see. I want the price of Bitcoin go to 56k. And the reason is it's on this line here, it's on this line here, so it would be perfect. And also from 56k, if we see a major like scary thing from Israel, Iran, I don't know what will be the situation. If that will happen and we see 56k, you can bet your ass off that a lot of people will be buying this level. Because what happens from here is the price will bounce, probably not necessarily to here. Then if we get something like this, suddenly we have another inverse head and shoulders here on the chart. And then we can moon before the election or after the election. So this is a possibility that something like this would happen. This is what I would like to see, but the technicals, the fundamentals don't really support me because the fundamentals are a little bit too bullish right now. But who knows, if there's like a enough scary situation from Israel, then it may happen. So that's what I'm actually hoping for. So if I get stomped out of that trade, yeah, I will lose a little bit money there, but then I will be basically making more money and much more from the price move here. What you could do also is basically short here and just have your stop loss basically above this price point here as well. That's one way to do it as well. But all in all, that's basically what I'm expecting here. And before I let you go, I could talk about the United States treasuries. It's a little bit hard to explain exactly what's going on here, but the inversion of the 10-year and 2-year treasury yields, this actually crashed on Friday, on Thursday and Friday. That's a little bit weird, a little bit unheard of, because what that kind of signals is that major players in USA are now expecting inflation. I don't know if they have some insider information that the government is going into full-on money printer mode or not, but when they are basically flash selling the treasuries, why would they do that is to anticipate more inflation. And they want to usually buy something with the dollars because dollars are even worse inflation protection than is the 10-year and 2-year treasuries. So would they buy gold? Will they buy Bitcoin? Maybe. If that is the case, then that could be absolutely amazing for Bitcoin. Usually if we go to the monthly view here, you can see that we had an inversion of these two yields here in the year 2099. That was the dot-com bubble. Then we had here in 06, 07, and 08, these started to go to the upside, obviously. And then we had the market crash. Now, during a market crash, these usually continue to go to the upside. But now we had a crash here on the yields, or on this inversion here. So that is a little bit weird. And I don't know exactly what to make of it, other than maybe they had some insider information. I don't know what happened on Friday, what caused this 100%. I saw a lot of speculation. I saw some people saying like, no, that's completely wrong narrative. This is actually extremely bearish and the markets will immediately crash very, very soon. So I don't exactly know. You could interpret this data in many, many different ways. But if this falls below here, maybe it would give us a little bit more leeway before the massive market crash. I don't know, maybe, but I thought it was interesting. And also, finally, the last thing, let's take a look at Doge. So Doge had a breakout from this long-term trend channel here, and I went bullish. However, when missiles started flying, the price of Doge crashed. Now, as you can see, the price already recovered and we are back in the bull zone with Doge. So this is showing that meme coins want to fly, or Doge wants to fly, and a lot of altcoins are basically in a similar position as Doge. I'm just showing Doge because it makes sense. So if missiles don't fly this week, then probably memes will. So that's what I wanted to share here. Then we have on the daily chart here, we have a bullish divergence as well here. And we had a beautiful bounce from this trend line as well last week. So all in all, if missiles do start flying, maybe Doge will not crash completely and you may still get a nice buying opportunity here. But all in all, it starts to look like Doge would like to fly here as well. If missiles don't fly, then that's the case there. So I don't exactly know what to make of it. We have a potential inverse head and shoulders here on the price of Doge as well. So this could be an inverse head and shoulders. Here's the first shoulder, the head, and now we had the second shoulder as well. So if this were to fly, then the price target would be basically here at almost at the previous top, 0.2. So hopefully that will come. I don't know if it will or not, but one can at least hope that it will. So that's all of my takes on this week's market update. Let me know in the comments if you like this week's update, and let me know if you're trading any of these. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and if you want to join the trading competition on Bybit, click the link in the description as well. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.